Fucking retarded. Okay, so now here's Rogan. Here he's thinking again, and we have some Jesus mustache loser here who's excited about this. He's like, oh, Rogan is talking about the Bible. And here's Rogan going with like a Jordan Peterson take, and he's brought these two clowns on from trigonometry, which is like, I think one's half a Jew and one looks like, this guy looks like, he looks like a member of Monty Python that, I think one of the guys kind of looks like him, but he looks like a fake woman. So if you just put like a burqa on him or just a scarf or just a female hat, he would look like a Monty Python guy pretending to be a woman. And his voice is comically British and like it's coming from a sketch comedy. Like, oh, I can't even pronounce it. Like, wait till he starts talking. But it's like, I would call it a speech impediment, but I'm sure his parents speak the same way. So he was taught to speak this stupidly. But okay, these guys, these are such big thinkers, guys. Get ready. We're about to dive into a debate about the Bible and Joe Rogan and these two trigonometry, Jesus. Me not being able to talk is Jesus. And these two trigonometry dorks.
There's a lot of like atheists and secular people that just like to dismiss Christianity as being foolish. You know, it's just fairy tales. I hear that amongst, self-professed intelligent people. Like,
oh, not like you. You're not self-professed intelligent, even though that was a humble brag of you declaring that you are intelligent because you're spotting our profession of our intelligence to be false. So we're not really intelligent. We declare ourselves to be intelligent. As if figuring out the most obvious thing in the world, that there is no God, is some big hurdle that we had to clear. This is an insult to the intelligence of a child, Joe. There's no evidence for any of this shit. And if you go through life trying to figure out what should I believe in, what shouldn't I believe in, okay? And if you have any backbone or spine, you don't just believe as you're told to believe. So once you are ceasing to be a child and, you're like, oh, look, I believe my parents and what they tell me. So if they say there's a place called Antarctica, I'll believe it. My teacher said it. These adults are saying it. They told me that a cow goes moo. I've never seen a cow. They told me there's something called the Indian Ocean. Never been there, but I'll take their word for it. Eventually, you have to take on the burden of ascertaining what is true based off your own research, intuition, and through your own scientific method. Okay, so on bigger issues, spiritual issues, it is upon you to figure this stuff out on your own and not just be a sheep or a lamb, which is, by the way, what they want you to be. That's why they call people like that lambs. They're kind of like lambs to the slaughter. But that's why Jesus was a shepherd and you were supposed to be a peon, a serf, and just obey. Just, I accept everything you're telling me. Okay, but once you have to figure it out on your own, this shit doesn't pass the sniff test at all. And it's a laughable proposition that you would believe in any of these religious claims. Okay, so the point has been made a million times. You and I agree on 99.9% of religions, that they're all false. And so, yes, they are foolish. Yes, they are fairy tales. Correct. Now, Joe is about to conflate a bunch of things, which I'm not going to let him, but none of the shit that religion purports, all the supernatural, heaven, hell, I'm going to live forever bullshit, it's all false. Scientology, Mormonism, Judaism, Islam, all of them. Hinduism, everything. It's all false. You and I agree on 99.9%. Okay, so are you a self-professed intelligent person, Joe, that you and I both agree that 99.9% of religions are false? Or say that to any Christian, any Jew, any Muslim? We're in the same boat. You and I, we're all atheists on all of these things. It's just you couldn't complete it. You couldn't stick the landing. Okay, you still needed the safety net of religion to get through life because you can't cope. Okay, so don't sit there and look at me like, what's with the fucking atheist? You're the fucking atheist on 99.9% of religions. I'm just trying to hold your hand and walk you to the promised land of the same logic you're applying to every other religion. You apply this logic and it seems to work on you. So why is it that you can see through Mormonism and you can see through Islam, but you can't see through Christianity? Do you want me to hold your hand and walk you through? You tell me why Islam and Mormonism is bullshit. And then I will reverse those questions back onto you with Christianity, and let's see how long it takes before you stop believing. Jackass. Atheism is unstoppable. For those who wish to live with integrity and have a fucking brain, and who are 6'3" and taller, and who are Eagle Scouts. If you are that, If you can get into UCLA and Berkeley, I don't think you could. That's my problem here. So I'm talking to losers and dipshits and small people, little people, a bunch of goddamn munchkins. Okay, so little dumb munchkins. A brighter than you human is talking to you, and I'm explaining to you the nature of the universe. Please pay attention.
Like it's a fairy tale. I'm like,
and by the way, this dude's 5'7". Joe's, I don't want to think it's a fairy tale. I don't think we landed on the moon, and I believe in Bigfoot, and, shit, I'm just a conspiracy guy. What can I tell you?
I don't know if that's true.
Oh, really? Oh, you don't know it's true. Well, Joe, let's get back to the basics here. Let's we've set up a system of justice and law and order, and the thing is, it's kind of important to know what's true. It's kind of relevant. It's not relevant of like things that are subjective, where it's like, who's the best band in the world? Is it Pink Floyd? Is it The Who? Is it Nirvana? Is it Muse? I don't know. It's subjective. It's hard to tell. It's not really like clear. But on issues like crime, did this guy rape this woman? Did this guy murder this other guy? Those are times where we really need to apply the scientific method and get the best educated guess as to whether or not something is true or false. And that's why we have a system of courts and trials. Now, in those, Joe, we have a thing called the burden of proof. Okay, so when you say, I don't know if that's true, you've butt-fucked the entire origin of this question, which is God, Jesus, the Bible. Is it true? They failed in proving the truth claims that they make. They have failed, okay? It has been laughed out of court. They have no evidence for any of the claims they make. Okay, so if you literally were to put Jesus and Christianity on trial, they couldn't produce a shred of evidence. And if they tried to put the Bible up as Exhibit A, it would be obvious hearsay. 100 times over, hearsay. Worthless. Okay, it would not be entered into the court. Okay, and it shouldn't be. And if you don't understand why not, then you're a freaking moron of a caliber I have never even witnessed. So you don't have a case that there's a God, that Jesus rose from the dead, that any of this shit you're talking about is remotely true. For an atheist to acknowledge that and say, look, you failed to prove any of this shit, so I'm not believing in the stuff you didn't prove to be true, for you then to go, that's a truth claim, and I don't think that's true. You didn't prove that. I don't have to prove that your bullshit case is not true. You never proved it was true. Okay, so do not lose sight here of who's making the fucking claims. But now Rogan's like, I think I'm more smart than the smarty pants who see through obvious lies. Okay, Joe.
I think there's more to it. I think it's history.
Okay, so now this is demented and stupid. Yes, Joe, speaking on behalf of, as the ambassador of the atheist community, let me explain to you something. We understand that historical human beings were involved in the Bible and in the foundations of religions. Judea is mentioned in the Bible. There is a place called Judea. Israel, is mentioned in the Bible. There's a place called Israel. Bethlehem, Nazareth, all these are cities. There are people. There are places. Okay, those are historical, Joe. It's a fascinating tidbit. They're lying about everything that happened in these actual places. Okay, the fact that these places exist does not mean that the claims made by ancient human beings are true as well. Okay? If I say to you, Joe, I jumped up and I flew 100 feet into the air in Melbourne. I was in Melbourne and I flew up into the air. And then you say, I think there's something more to it, because yes, he's claiming that he flew and he's providing no evidence, but Melbourne exists. So that adds credence to his claim that he flew in Melbourne. Oh, Lord, Joe.
Yeah, I used to love all that New Atheist stuff.
I used to love it. I've grown past it because the grift has grown past it. I'm aware that my audience captured my ass into believing in, maybe Christianity's true. Could that hurt? It's not going to hurt my bottom line to be like, hey, Christians, you're all correct. Hey, anyone watching me on censored.com or censored TV, whatever the channel is, And I have a ton of religious, fans or viewers, whatever. You're not, this is the difference. You're not going to audience capture me. You subscribe to a channel called Atheism is Unstoppable, knowing full well I usually don't talk about this topic, but it's about time I do. I'm telling you, with my master race brain, okay, let me edit that out. With my exquisite mind, my beautiful mind, a mind you know to be beautiful and lucid and sharp as a machete, I'm telling you, you're completely ass backwards, dead ass wrong on Jesus and Christianity. And if you have an issue with that, go fuck yourself. Okay, like in other words, I'm not going to be pressured into or bullied or bribed into telling you something that's not true because I have something called integrity and honor as a human being. Okay, so you're not going to walk me out of thinking that OJ was not guilty. Good luck trying to do that. Good luck trying to bullshit me and tell me that, oh, actually, Devin, no, play the game because I'd lost my dog and I love my grandparents and I want to live forever. Don't you get it, dude? Just play the game. It's so much funner to play the game. No, I won't. People die. Death is oblivion. Okay, that doesn't mean you have to live black-pilled. There's plenty of reasons to feel uplifted about the human experience. And I will end with the fact that you don't need all this shit to live a joyful and meaningful existence. But you people are lying to yourselves, and it's incredibly awkward to tell this to adults. It's a ghastly, preposterous embarrassment that you can't figure this out at this stage. Okay? So don't ever fucking come to me with reason, logic, or the scientific method to try to justify your childish bitch-made beliefs. Okay, just understand that you're talking to someone who sees through all of this fuckery, and I saw through it like decades ago. So it's like, give up, essentially. But to have these freaking shrimpy-ass midget fucks, these two British dickheads who have amateured their way into a freaking platform and a career, and now they're like, well, here's some brilliant thoughts about Jesus. Maybe it's all real. It's sickeningly stupid and embarrassing. Somebody's pinging me.
Me too. But a lot of those guys fell apart.
Okay, let's run that back. A lot of those guys fell apart. Hold on.
I think there's more to it. I think it's history.
I used to love all that new atheist stuff. But
Me too. But a lot of those guys fell apart.
Okay, so we're laughing. A lot of the new atheists fell apart? What are you talking about? So this is one of the stupidest things ever. Okay, Christopher Hitchens died a hero, a legend. Richard Dawkins is still around, has an incredible career, is retired, best-selling author. I mean, he's an incredibly respected man. Richard Dawkins has not fallen off. Daniel Dennett is like a private guy. He wrote his books and he's contributed in the field. It's incredibly, okay, good. Neil deGrasse Tyson is a doofus and doesn't even claim to be an atheist, but Sam Harris is the guy they're talking about. He says Sam Harris has crumbled and fallen apart. Really? Sam Harris? He's doing a speaking tour right now. Sam Harris, the atheist. Net worth? What's the net worth of Sam Harris? $12 million. Not verified, but we're thinking it's around 12 milli. He's got a wildly successful podcast about meditation. He has that's just not a podcast, that's an app, which is loved the world over. Incredible insights into human consciousness and the mind and well-being. So I'm just talking to Amanda Knox. Apparently she told me that she's added to her series on that app, which is called Resilience, which I will be listening to. He has given speeches after speeches on the mind, and this is, from his studying of neuroscience. I mean, fascinating contributions on all these fronts. He's written multiple best-selling books. This is a man, a father of two, lives in a mansion in the Palisades, travels the world, is beyond happy and accomplished. Sam, he's fallen apart? In what fucking, where, how? What the fuck are you talking about? The guy has a podcast, wildly interesting, brings on guest after guest. It's like, they're like, well, he doesn't like Trump, is what he's saying. So Joe Rogan is a loser that went from supporting Bernie Sanders to Trump. Sam Harris is a guy that was like, first of all, he just gave Trump credit for what he did with Israel. But like, Sam Harris doesn't like Trump, therefore he's a fallen apart guy. First of all, Sam Harris would never have liked Trump, ever. Like, he's not a Republican. He just hates liars. He wrote a book about lying. I mean, he didn't like Trump before he got into politics. So why is this some determining factor? Like, that's Sam Harris being Sam Harris. Like, what the fuck? So there's a million reasons to not like Trump. Why is that your litmus test? It's retarded. And like, there is literally no reason for this guy to be like laughing at or trying to be like, oh, Sam Harris he's lost the plot. That is a retarded lie. It's a stupid lie. But okay. Yeah, you got him. You got him. They're really falling apart, those new atheists.
And all those guys get real persnickety. They don't seem very enlightened.
Oh, right, not enlightened. Right, the freaking guru with the well-being app that's like has millions of subscribers, who knows more about the human mind and thought and consciousness and who's zenned out beyond belief. He's not enlightened. This fucking meathead is enlightened. The guy who's like, oh, look at the calf kicks in the UFC are fucking dope. I love that shit. Now let me get into my ice bath and let me take my creatine and my brain pills and let me go research Bigfoot. Jesus Christ. Let me get some elk meat up in my brain.
They don't seem like they're at peace.
Yeah, he's not at peace. Oh, God. And cut to this fucking loser. You want to be on this guy's side? He's wearing a hat with a bass on it. Just a fish.
Very, very different type of conversation than you would have heard on the Joe Rogan Experience 5 or 10 years ago. That's for sure. Let's get into this.
We were
Oh, this is so exciting. Here comes the voice. Speech impediment.
in this conversation yesterday, I said to Constantine, the great thing about an ideology is it gives you certainty.
Oh, God. So now we have lost the point of figuring out if anything is true. So apparently that doesn't matter. What we're after is certainty. So if certainty is the promised land, if that's the finish line, then what are we saying about ourselves? We're saying, just give me something to hold on to that I can feel certain about because I want to feel certain. So you're admitting that this is a cope. It's you trying to find something to give you, a sense of strength or support in your life, and you don't care if it's real. Okay.
Mm-hmm. The terrible thing about an ideology is
It gives you certainty.
That is so
Well, why is that terrible? That's a deepity. What is your point?
true. And it's
What, because you're going to get jihadists and people that are going to like be violent based on their certainty?
also the appealing thing about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just said that, Joe.
I've always been attracted to the idea that these people like really believe. Like, it's fascinating when I watch like super religious people that are praying 5 times a day, and I'm like that is amazing. Like, look how dedicated they are to that.
So now, again, listen to what is being said. I admire dedication. So, what are they dedicated to? What is the point of it? There are people that waste their lives doing stupid things that have no significance whatsoever, but they're dedicated to it. There's a fentanyl addict. He takes fentanyl every day. He's dedicated to that, and he's certain that the right thing to do is to take fentanyl. Isn't that great that he has that dedication, that certainty? No, it's not great. He's a drug addict and an idiot, and he's going to die soon.
Like, there's an attractiveness to that. Like,
So again, this idea that Joe is attracted to something, he wants to be a part of something, he admires the lunacy. I love your delusion. Your delusion seems fun and safe and cozy.
God, I wish I was like, if I was that dedicated to something, I'd probably be like way more stable in my life.
Yeah.
Because
So this is sort of the born-again Christian vibe of people that ruin their lives and are on drugs or alcohol or just are impoverished or whatever. They're broken human beings. And then they find this answer and this certainty. And they find the delusion. They find the dedication of, I'm going to dedicate my life to Jesus and Christianity, and I'm going to put aside all my brokenness and failures and toxic life choices, and I'm just going to throw myself into that. And, it collects these lost souls, and it says, here's the offer. This is the good side of it. We come for the community, come for the, once a week meetings, stay for the priest sodomy, stay for the never-ending life. You get immortality, and you get this warm, fuzzy blanket that you can just take with you, and it'll help you. So it makes you feel good. So it is a drug of a sort. I mean, you're benefiting from this. This is a sales offer, and you are buying the pitch. You get something from this. If it had nothing to offer you, if I said, hey, I want you to run a double marathon. What? Yeah, I want you and we're going to dedicate ourselves. We're going to run, a marathon is 26.2 miles. We're running, oh God, math, 53.2? What? No, 53.4. I think that's right. No, 52.4. Oh, God, am I that bad at math? Okay, we're running over 50 miles, you and I. Okay, that sounds hard and painful and terrible. Yes, but... Yeah, but what? You stop talking. But nothing. So you want me to run 50 miles for no reason? Yeah. Are we being sponsored? Are we being paid for this? Like, how am I going to justify taking off work to train? This is a lot of pain involved. Why would I do this? What's in it for me? Do I get to live forever by chance? No. Why? Live forever? No, you're just running 50 miles. Okay, so then why would I do it? Well, but you see, this is a sales pitch that will not work. Religion has a pitch that does work on idiotic humans that Joe Rogan right here, he's a prime target. I feel chaotic in my life. I seek stability. I admire your delusion. I want to feel good on my inside.
You're just locked in and everybody believes, and you see people talking about the religion with utmost certainty, like, I wish I was that certain.
Now, this conversation you're going to see is going to progress past...
See that? I wish I felt a way. Not I wish something were true. Not I wish I should have good reason to be certain. Very key distinction there. I want to feel a way. And this is spoken from a drug addict. From a guy who takes drugs every day of his fucking life because he wants to feel a way. If he didn't take the drugs, he wouldn't feel that way. He likes to feel that way, which is stoned, so he takes drugs every day of his life. I don't. I don't do drugs. I never did drugs. And it's because I fundamentally have an agreement with myself that I am not going to just seek out feeling good for the sake of feeling good, like I'm some fucking lizard-brained, just zero ethical code primate, just going, me feel good. How can I feel good? Hey, there's a girl with big boobs. Me want to feel them. Okay, but why? Like, she's a woman, like, she doesn't want to let you just feel her boobs. Yes, but me want feel good. Me want me good. Me give me pot, give me drugs, give me alcohol. Like, you're a fucking low-level player in this world. It is embarrassing. And then he tries to, like, justify or rationalize this quest for feeling good. And it has nothing to do with truth or honor or reason, nothing whatsoever. Now, I would present to you that I feel good, ironically, through living in accordance with reality. So the living in sobriety, it makes me feel good. I feel good that I am not dependent on and reliant upon toxic poisons that I ingest in my body at the cost of my own health, just to hide from clarity, hide from sobriety, hide from the truth, mask the truth, hide from my demons, hide from the past. If you need to do that, you're a broken human being and you're weak. Okay? And that's why it's not surprising that a drug addict is a Christian, or in Rogan's case, a half-ass, dipping my toe, maybe, I love it, it sounds good.
Past that of just pick an ideology, any ideology, and that'll work. It's going to move past that in a really interesting way. So let's keep going here.
Yeah, this is a Christian gay. This is obviously a repressed gay man right here with the mustache looking like a fucking part of the YMCA. And it's like, you see it all the time. People have their own reasons and they lie to themselves constantly.
Wish I was that certain. Those guys are so certain they're willing to die. Like,
it also gives you like a lot of inner peace.
See this? This is a sales pitch. And these guys, none of these guys are actual Christians. They're all like pathetically and bizarrely like, let's cater to this huge audience of Christians out there for our own money and just like pretend that there's any intellectual merit to it. And here's the intellectual merit. it brings you inner peace. But this is no different than me saying, people that do heroin seem to enjoy it. And like, I noticed that they go back and do more of it. So it must have felt good when they did heroin. And I'm like, I'm contemplating doing heroin. Why? Well, because the people that do it seem to like it. This is what he's saying. Religious people have inner peace.
It does. Like, if you don't have that, which I don't, and I've got a...
So these people, they're not believers. So none of them are full bore believers right now, but they're, bandying the idea around. They're like, look, I want to have inner peace, so let me believe some total bullshit, and then I'll have inner peace. As if that's not a recipe for cognitive dissonance. And like, people are like, oh, I know I'm lying to myself. I'm living in a disgraceful state, but I have inner peace, right? Yeah, put that plastic smile on your face.
Friend who's a devout Muslim, and he's going through tough times at the moment, and I say to him, like, how do you get through this? And he's like, bro, I've got my religion, I've got God, and I know everything's going to be okay.
It's not going to be okay. He has cancer of the spleen, and his wife just left him, and it's going terrible for the dude.
Great guy. And he goes, I pray 5 times a day, it really helps me.
So he's suggesting the placebo effect. Just lie to yourself, tell yourself it's all going to be okay, and then you'll feel better. These are the thought leaders. These are the guys. These are the thinkers. These are the self-professed intelligent people.
And it makes me realize and understand that what I'm going through is part of his plan. It's part of...
So that's incredible. So everything has crumbled in this dude's life, but it's okay because there's a guy upstairs who loves me, and I'm Job. He's making me go through a bunch of shit, but there's a plan, and I'm going to win in the end, and maybe I'm lying to myself. Oh, no, forget that. Just stay committed to the lie.
Of his plan.
It's worth putting a pin in this and saying,
oh, is it, sir?
Yes, even for a Muslim.
What's your favorite Broadway musical? What are the odds that this man has done jazz hands in his life?
As opposed to an atheist or something, there is actually a benefit, a general grace, a general benefit that you have by understanding that there is a God above you, So you're going through the talking points of the sales pitch of why I should believe in your bullshit. So there's a benefit. The heroin addict is like chilled out. He's not stressed out. He's doing heroin. He feels good. There's chemicals coursing through his brain. These are the beneficial parts of doing heroin. If that's true, then you're from somewhere, you're for something. There's, in a sense, there's truth in every religion, but that's a separate question than which religion is actually ultimately true if the religions of the world make competing truth claims, right? Like the law of the excluded middle, they can't all be true at the same time and in the same sense.
I love that. What do you mean it's true? So what are we even talking about? Jesus is God. Your God isn't even a God. So this is the guy explaining that, look, if there's a competing truth claim, then ours wins because I want to feel good. That's the logic that got him to that point.
Get into that momentarily, but for now, let's keep going.
Yeah, if you really do believe that, it definitely will help you.
I haven't got the...
It will help you if you lie to yourself. Belief is all you need. All you need is love. All you need is faith. All you need is belief. And forget the idea of whether or not something is true. I mean, sounds really repugnant and unappealing to me. I couldn't force myself to live in that world if I tried. If I went into every encounter, every day of my life, just going, I must find good, I want to feel good, and I don't care what I sacrifice on that quest. Personal integrity, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just need to feel good. This is like a very low-level human impulse, and it's cripplingly pathetic and weak to see grown-ass people who should know better not knowing better and simply signing up for this ridiculous romp through, I want to feel safe and cozy and great in my life, and I'm willing to lie to myself.
There, but I have started going to church every now and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I do.
I do too. It's a bunch of people that are going to
And they
church
both go to church as non-believing atheists.
to make their lives better. They're trying to be a better
Okay.
person.
Trying to be a better person. So now, again, we're not talking about truth claims. It's just, I like going to a weekly meetup with other people and hanging out. Okay, well, you can do that in a chess club or, a knitting club. But so we're really now talking about something totally different.
And they're trying to, I mean, for me at least, the place that I go to, they read and analyze passages in the Bible. I'm really interested in what these people were trying to say, because I don't think it's nothing. There's
Okay. Here's a false premise. Atheists or non-Christians think that the Bible or any passage from the Bible is nothing. It's not nothing. There are stories being told by people that we don't know who wrote them. In some of those stories, there are morality tales. There are little lessons and little morsels and tidbits of like, forgiveness is good, and pay your daughter's rapists 50 shekels, and, really wise things from the past. Here's how to beat your slave, stuff that we could really use. But no, it's not nothing, Joe. It's just pointless utterances of ancient, scientifically illiterate human beings. Okay? That you can sit there and go through. We could go through every paragraph of Lord of the Rings and have a nice, wonderful afternoon discussion about, was Frodo Baggins, what was his character arc about, and what was his journey, what can we take from it? His bravery that he showcased. Isn't there a lesson in that paragraph there, Joe? Like, this is nothing. This is like a book reading club, literature analyzing society. Like, there's nothing beyond that. And definitely nothing about the truth claims. Like, no, because I admire the bravery in the story of Bilbo Baggins, that means Mordor is real. No, literally real.
a lot of like atheists and secular people that just like to dismiss Christianity as being foolish.
You said this, foolish and a fairy tale, right?
It's just fairy tales. I hear that.
It is. It's not. And by the way, a fairy tale can have useful things in it too. There's a million stories that has things of value in it. So we're not saying it's nothing. Star Wars is a fairy tale. It is a fictional piece of literature or turned into a movie. I'm not saying that's nothing. I'm not saying it's worthless. I'm saying it's important. How to tongue kiss your sister. Great lesson that you could learn.
Amongst self-professed intelligent people, like
Self-professed.
it's a fairy tale. I'm like,
It is a fairy tale, Joe.
I don't know if that's true.
Right. You don't know it's true. So there are flying horses, people are curing the blind and leprosy, and they're walking on water, and all of this means something magical and spooky and awesome, and there's no reason to believe any of it, Joe. So like your brain is like, it's not a functional place. It's just, it's such a sad state of affairs to watch shit like this.
I think there's more to it. I think it's history.
History, right. So Nazareth is a place, therefore the dude walked on water. Okay. Melbourne is a place, therefore Devon flies. Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a confusing history. It's a confusing history because it was a long time ago.
Yeah, and because there's several hundred writers of the Bible, no one knows who edited the Bible. It has changed a million times. These are several reasons why not to trust or put any validity in any single one of these claims, which are all ridiculous. Also, there's a deafening silence as to why you don't believe in the scriptures of any other religion. Why are you going to tell me that shit from the Old Testament is not true and that's metaphoric, but the New Testament is true? And what are you basing that off? And where are you standing on, Hinduism and Buddhism and Islam? Like, how are we dismissing? It's just so dumb.
It's people telling things in an oral tradition and writing things down in a language that you don't understand.
Joe, there are people that understand the language and they've translated the language. So me personally not speaking Aramaic is not the issue.
The context of a culture that you don't understand.
We have scholars on this and we do understand it all.
And I think there's something to what they're saying.
So now it's come back to, think of the bar we're clearing here. How low this bar is. There's something to it. There's something there. Okay. Joe, the claims are rather extreme and radical. So for us to notice that a book or several books were put together in one book and that they wrote about stuff, yes, we agree. There's other ancient books too, Joe, and there's something to those as well. So why are you acting like you're in a profound moment of revelation currently? What you're saying is dumb.
I think there's a reason why they all have a flood myth.
This is incredible. Oh, they all have a flood myth. So this is a Christian talking point where they're trying to justify or pretend that there is scientific evidence that the flood myth is true because floods happened in time. Like in history, there have been floods. Therefore, the flood that the Bible's talking about, which is a global extinction event, okay, there's no real evidence of that, Joe. But, okay, yes, we've had many things happen over the 4 billion years the Earth has been around. So floods have happened, not on the scale of the Bible, but yes, there have been floods. Therefore what, Joe?
There's a reason. They all have a very similar story of catastrophic floods and...
This is dumb. No, they all, quote, don't have that story, Joe. And there was not a mass extinction event, and there was not a global genocide. This did not occur. Okay, so... I mean, he's going for a, what would you even call that? I guess he's using archaeology. Like that there's evidence of floods, therefore the Bible's all true?
chaos. And then that jives with what...
And who wrote it? Was it a guy who survived the flood? Was it Noah, Joe? Are you telling me Noah's Ark is real?
Geologists are finding. And
geologists found that a flood happened once. Therefore, Noah's Ark... Did Noah live to be 800 years, Joe? Did he fuck his children? Were there 2 lions? Were there 2 male lions on Noah's Ark?
these people are finding that are exploring the Younger Dryas impact theory, that there was floods, mass.
There were floods. The Bible is true. Christianity has been verified. Oh my God. Look at this, guys. It's that easy. Oh my God. Hey, Joe, I wonder if the Bible ever said any scientific claims that just weren't true at all. You know, young earth, creationism, just literally entire chapters of the Bible that are scientifically laughable. We're not going to mention those? No. Let's just stick to this. If there were floods, then Christianity is the truth. Oh my God.
Enormous amounts of water that are instantaneously released.
Hey, you know what else? Scientists have come out to discover that bushes have been burned. In other words, there have been fires in human history. Sometimes forest fires, naturally caused, and bushes were burned. Therefore, the burning bush is verified. Therefore, the Old Testament is true.
From melting ice caps all over the world because of comet impacts. Like, it happened.
Okay, so floods happen, water exists, therefore Christianity is true. Joe, I mean, it makes sense that you'd have the biggest podcast, man. You've got the biggest brain.
There's evidence, physical evidence.
Physical evidence of water moving from A to B on our planet. Therefore, the Bible is true.
This happening. And I think that's what they're...
Hey, Joe, why don't you just come out and comment on Noah's Ark? Is Noah's Ark the reason why we have the animal life that we have on this planet?
Trying to say in these stories.
I
just think it's so confusing.
Oh, you are confused, Joe. I think you need to lie down. I think you probably should turn the mic off at this point.
It's so confusing because you're dealing with a time so long ago. We talk about how different people live today on Earth, but way more similar today than we would be reacting or interacting with a society that existed 6,000 years ago.
Galileo
6,000 years ago? What's he referencing there? Which society was that? When do you think the Bible was written, dude? 6,000 years.
said this the best. He says, God has given us 2 books, the book of nature and the book of scripture, or the book of his world and the book of his word.
How long ago was a dick inside this dude's mouth?
Galileo says these 2 books, if they're actually from the same source, will actually never contradict each other, will never compete with each other. There'll never be a disparity between these 2 books if they're both actually given to us by God.
What a child. What is he babbling about? There are 2 books, and there's God, and if God is the author, then did he say Galileo? Then these 2 books will never contradict. Are you aware that there's thousands upon thousands of internal contradictions in the Bible?
But there's a problem, because you have people interpreting the book of nature, that's called science, and you have people interpreting the book of scripture, that's called theology. So science and theology...
Yeah, they're non-overlapping magisteria. That's our way out of commenting on the fact that the Bible is full of complete bullshit and is making scientific claims about the physical, natural world that are just simply not true. And yet it's the reason why these dipshits believe this shit. It's because of the truth claims in the physical universe. It's not just a book of symbolism and metaphor. It is not what it's about. If it's not powered by the, oh no, he had to have been born from a virgin. Oh no, he had to have risen from the dead. Oh, he had to cure the blind. If he didn't do that, then why would I follow him? Because the guy's not going to give me eternal life if he can't do his magic tricks.
Are both possibly going to contradict. If you have a wrong interpretation and a right interpretation, you can have a conflict.
Oh my God, he's married. His poor wife. Who's going to tell her?
But if you have two right interpretations, you're not going to have a conflict. But I think what he's recognizing that there's an internal claim within Scripture being stated and an external event that claim is actually attached to. There's the book of God's word and there's the exterior book of God's world, and they actually unify. They're actually two sides of the same coin in a sense. Let's keep going.
So you're
Fuck is he talking about?
writing things down on animal skins frantically and hiding them in clay jars in Qumran, and like, I hope somebody finds this someday. And then thousands of years later, someone does. They find these ancient scrolls, and
Right, ancient scrolls written by ancient man who were dumb as shit, Joe. They look like cavemen like you. Okay, they had no understanding. This is centuries before science was invented. Okay, so these people are making wild, ridiculous guesses as to why anything is happening, and they are espousing beliefs that are palpably stupid. Okay, we have many accounts from tribes in the Amazon and from the sub-Saharan Africa, and they have retarded claims. And that Native Americans think that America is a turtle island, and that the planet came from a turtle or something. It's just like, what in the hell, Joe? And he's like, no, but it's super old, and those old people were wiser than me. So this is like, dude needs a daddy. Okay, Joe didn't have a daddy. He hated his daddy. I think he has daddy issues, and he's looking for ironically, the certainty and the assuredness of having a male figure in his life explain to him how everything works. Because he doesn't have that, we are now finding him just flailing around looking for any sort of answer. And he's like, oh, maybe my daddy was around 6,000 years ago and writing stupid shit on the hide of an animal and putting it in a jar. Well, I found it, Daddy. Will you adopt me? No, he's been dead for 6,000 years, Joe. Apparently. Oh my God. Of course, Joe can't figure this shit out for himself. He's lost. He's a child. He's lost in everything he talks about. Has no fucking idea. It's just like, Joe, go kill a deer and some innocent Bambi, eat that meat, and smoke a bowl and hit the B load and just sit in an ice bath and think about your next UFC event. I mean, please do not embarrass yourself further.
they pull them out, and they're versions of stories from the Bible. So these people have been telling these same stories for thousands of years.
Yeah, there are dumb creation myths. Many of them, Joe. There is an oral tradition. Yes, people have written shit down. Doesn't make it better. Doesn't make it real. I mean, how impressed is he that just the story exists? Like, Joe, you are not believing in millions of other stories. So why one over another, Joe? And why the fact that the story exists must mean it's real?
Well, okay, what were they trying to say?
Well, Joe, they wrote what they were trying to say.
That's what's interesting to me.
Thank God. This is the biblical scholarship of Joe Rogan, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think it's nothing.
No one said it was nothing, Joe. It's incoherent, uneducated, unscientific, just mythical ramblings from ancient human beings. That's what it is. So I'm not saying it's nothing. I'm saying it's embarrassingly stupid, asinine prose, written like poetry and symbolism, written by scared, fearful, old-ass human beings.
No.
I think there's something to it, and there's a reason why it resonates with people. And
That's a different question. The reason why it resonates, see, for a smart person, you follow that. This is the difference. The reason why it resonates is a good question to ask when it comes to anything. Why is this person popular? Why is Why does this person have an audience? But you see, we have quietly left whether or not anything is true about what these people are saying to why is it popular? Totally different question. And why is something popular could have horrible answers. So, and it's a completely different genre of thought. So why it resonates? Oh, well, because it appeals to people. So it's selling an idea, it's selling a list of reasons why you should adopt a belief, and you get something in return. And this is self-serving, and people rarely acknowledge this, but if you were to, then you can understand, oh, they're signing up for this because it makes them feel good, and it helps assuage the terror and dread of mortality for human beings. So they need to have some sort of safety net. They prefer to live in a more hopeful mindset. And this makes sense because then the dread of oblivion or death is easier to stomach. Ah, now I understand why it's so popular. It's kind of easy to see this. Now, the smart person with integrity would say, oh, I see why it resonates. That's beneath me, and that's embarrassing for those people. Maybe necessary. You can make that case. I am not going to buy into that. This is the same reason. Why is heroin popular? Why is fentanyl popular? Why does it resonate with people? And we could list out those reasons, and a fentanyl addict and a heroin addict would tell you multiple reasons why they do what they do. It's not just pure chemical addiction. Okay, they benefit from it in some way, a sick and twisted, a dark way, but there definitely is upside to taking drugs. Okay, does that mean I should then take the drug? No, there's downsides to this. This is unhealthy. This is not living honorably or wholesome or in accordance with a healthy life. I would suggest it's the wrong path to take. But like Joe doesn't go there. He goes, I see, there's a story that's popular. It resonates with people. Maybe I should jump into that pack because I'm a pack animal. I want to be a part of the herd because I'm a dipshit and a doofus. And even though it's spelled out to me why that people are believing this, because they're being sold lies and they need to hear those lies in order to get through their stupid, weak lives.
Christianity in particular is the most fascinating to me because
I'm surrounded by most Christians, and most of the guests I have on my show are Christians, and I hear about Christianity all the time. Right, Joe? And if you were in China, you'd be saying something else.
There's this one person that everybody agrees
And no one agrees. I do not agree. He wasn't even a real person.
existed.
A guy existed. Okay. Very compelling.
That somehow or another had the
Somehow or another, that's the doing a lot of heavy lifting.
best plan for how human beings should interact with each other.
The best plan is to die a 33-year-old virgin? Disagree. That's a hard disagree. No, he did not have the best plan. He did not have good oral hygiene. He didn't shave his armpits. He probably didn't pee sitting down. He had no clue about Eurovision. Jesus did not live the best way. He didn't have the best plan. Again, this is a dude seeking a daddy figure, seeking a guy to tell me how to live my life. And I'll go back on some ancient fictional dude, just a fucking fictional character. Please, will you be my daddy? Fictional Jesus?
Other and behave, and was the best example of it, and even died in a non-violent way. Like it didn't
But even died in a non-violent way. It was quite violent, actually. And what?
even protest. Died on.
He didn't protest? Says who? Didn't protest. He could protest all he wants. He did protest. He said, Father, why have you forsaken me? Why have you forsaken me? I mean, he's begging God to not die. So he was protesting. And like, you're giving the guy credit for being crucified? Like, he was a rabble-rouser, and the Romans strung him up like they did many other people. Why not praise all those other people and be like, look at the way they got crucified? Like, what the fuck? This guy could do anything, and you're just going to praise him because he's your fictional daddy figure.
Across supposedly for our sins. Like it's a
For our sins? Wait, what did you just wedge in? It's not fascinating at all. For our sins? Excuse me? Vicarious? So you believe in a cult of human sacrifice? Joe? That ramped up pretty quick. It was like, it's crazy because like floods happened, and also there was this guy who was crucified for our sins. What? First of all, what is a sin? Says who? Bullshit. Fuck that. And what is this random guy dying 2,000 years ago have to do with my sins. I don't agree. There are no such thing as a sin. You cannot be absolved of them, even if they were to be true. This is completely arbitrary, and it's based on nothing, and the guy's just literally parroting the Christian doctrine. And like, there's no pushback from the guests, and this lisping homosexual is about to be like, totally, this is what I'm about. Oh my God.
Needing story.
And he didn't say it by name, but when he's talking about Qumran and things being placed in jars, he's talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls. He has in his mind, probably, certainly, the Great Isaiah Scroll and the whole conversation with Wes Huff and all of that, where you have not just some story, some information, but you have Isaiah 53. You have the entire book of Isaiah intact and pre-incarnation, before Jesus, talking about Jesus. That's going to become relevant in a second here.
That's so retarded. Holy shit. Oh, Isaiah. Who's Isaiah? Don't know. And he was writing about someone. Who? The chosen one. And that was Jesus? Yeah. Okay. You're just connecting all the dots. Yeah. Sounds amazing. Totally rock solid. Let me dedicate my life to this bullshit.
What does it represent, though? That's the real thing. What was that? Like, what happened? Who was Jesus Christ if it was a human being?
Okay, if it was a human being, he was a religious figure who preached to people during ancient times in Israel. That's who he was, Joe. Okay, there's a bunch of ancient people. He didn't live that long. He died. There were Roman people back then. I mean, why are we fascinated? What's with the freaking boner for this guy? Like, there's a bunch of other people. I mean, how much of a daddy complex do you have?
What was that? That's wild.
Look at Joe bulging out his eyes going, Jesus Christ, man. Like, what was that about? You know what I'm saying? Totally. Pass the weed.
Jordan's idea, as I understand it, is that the point of the story, if you like, is it's about voluntary self-sacrifice. It's about the fact.
Amazing. So now it's a story. So Constantine is not fully on board yet. He does go to church, but it's just a story, and we can gain something from the story, and that's self-sacrifice. Wow. Thanks, guys. You know who else could have taught me about self-sacrifice? My father, parents, even a mother. Or anybody, any secular person can be like, self-sacrifice or dedication or hard work is good. But like self-sacrifice to the point of, I'm going to kill myself? Huh? That seems backward and barbaric and stupid. No, I'm not going to kill myself. It's not going to absolve any sins. This is absolutely fucking demented. And it's like, Lord of the Rings can teach you about bravery and friendship and the positive aspects of having group meetings with the elves and the dwarves, and like it teaches about non-racism. You know, it's like other different forms of life working together to overcome evil. Those are the lessons I've learned from Lord of the Rings. What are we doing? What are we doing? And if the second that somebody comes in and goes, I think Lord of the Rings is factually true, it was written down. Actually, we know the guy who wrote it, just like we know the guy who wrote Dianetics, Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard. We know that guy. So you have a better case that like the credibility of Lord of the Rings is way beyond the Bible. But whatever. I'm saying Lord of the Rings is true. But how? What are you basing that off? There's no such thing as orcs. Show me an orc. Or show me that the ring, show me the ring. If you put on a ring and you turn invisible, if you show me that, then I'll be like, okay, maybe Lord of the Rings is true. But you can't. You haven't shown me that. There is no exhibit. Just like you haven't shown me any of Jesus' miracles. You haven't shown me him rising from the dead. You haven't proved that. So, no, but okay, I can't show you the ring in Lord of the Rings. I can't show you Gollum. I can't show you that. I can't show you an elf. But listen to this. The wisdom and the truth of the friendship between Bilbo and his best buddy, or Frodo. I forget whatever. These guys, I'm lost in the sauce, but like they had friendship, they had bravery, and there was lessons about overcoming fear, and those were good. Those are good lessons. Okay, so because that's a good lesson, that means elves and orcs, and there are trees that can walk around and talk. That's all true now because you liked a lesson in a story. Are we doing this dance? What are we doing here, guys?
that to have a good society, people have to be willing to sacrifice something of themselves.
Oh, great. I'm glad you've fished out the idea that sacrifice is good. And it only took a guy getting crucified by the Romans for you to garner a lesson out of the word sacrifice. Okay, well, what are you sacrificing?
For others. And that's what Jesus
Okay, Jesus dying didn't do anything for others, so this is bullshit. But also, there's about a million other ways to get the lesson of sacrificing for the greater good of a community. You could get to that lesson in a multitude of ways, but okay.
and that story is supposed to inspire in all of us.
Right, and Frodo or Bilbo, whoever dragged that ring and threw it into Mordor, he did that for all of the hobbits, and he did it for the elves, and he did it for the dwarves. He sacrificed. Frodo sacrificed to do that. And the lesson of sacrifice is so powerful to me that I now literally believe that everything in that book is true. Because I took a lesson from the book. So therefore it's all literally true.
Right, but it's a historical human being too.
There you go. A historical human being. Joe, no one... Okay, it's a distraction to argue over the historicity of Jesus Christ. And most people who are lazy and bitch-made just grant it. They just grant it. As in where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a lot of Jesus smoke. So it's not the hill I want to die on. I'll just say he existed. Okay, well then, what other claim about him do you want to argue over? That he was born of a virgin for no fucking reason? That's not biologically true or real or possible. It's never happened. Never happened. But okay, he didn't have a father because that's complicated. Or God has to be his father, or was Joseph his father? Can we do a DNA test? I think we could sort of debunk this in half a day. But the fact that there was a guy named Jesus is not interesting, not compelling. There wouldn't be a world religion based on the fact that a man existed 2,000 years ago. Okay, so why don't you get to the crux of the issue, which I think he might here, which is the claims made about this man. Okay, again, Joe is fascinated by the fact that I claimed that I flew in Melbourne, and he keeps referencing the fact that Melbourne is truly a place. Get to the heart of the issue, Joe.
Yeah.
It's a historically documented human being. That's where it gets weird.
There's one document outside the Bible that mentioned Jesus. One. That you should trust with a boulder of salt. Okay, so it's not really historically documented, Joe.
There's a universal depiction of what this human being was like.
No, there isn't. There's wide contrast in depicting what Jesus was like. There's been religious warfare over the topic. People disagree in mass, Joe. There are billions of people that disagree on the concept and the claims about Jesus Christ. So the Jews completely disagree with the Christians on Jesus Christ. Completely and totally. But Joe's no, but everyone agrees there's universal agreement about Jesus. No, there isn't, Joe. Absolutely not. There is not.
That doesn't seem to vary that much between all the people that knew him.
All the people that knew him. Joe, what are you talking about? Joe, we don't know anybody that knew Jesus Christ. We don't know anybody. And what claim are you making? What are we even talking about? God, is he stupid? This is the guy I'm hoping is going to get a murder case, right? You bring a murder case to him and he's like, it seems like everyone agreed that Jesus Christ, they all vouch for the guy. They all were Jesus is pretty cool. Who said that, John? John, Luke, Matt, Paul? Who said it? Ringo? The Book of Ringo? Joe, this is fucking dumb. It's just good Lord.
That gets weird.
See, this is amazing. So
That's so good. It's amazing. So I've been suppressing my homosexual desires, and I do them from time to time. There is Gary. I do have sex with Gary on occasion, but I do it, but then I atone for it, and Jesus is forgiveful, so I do succumb to sin every once in a while, but that's only weekends, and I am loyal to my wife for the rest of the time, and I've found a peace in accordance with my truth. My Jesus forgives me for my homosexuality.
I cannot even believe what I'm seeing right now. Yes, and right? Yes, Jesus.
Yes, and. So yes and is a phrase used in improv comedy classes instead of no but. So if somebody says, do an improv, and you're up there with a guy, and he goes, doctor, my arm is severely cut. Please help me. And you go, I'm not a doctor. I work at a flower shop. That's not saying yes and. That's you going no but. So he's referencing a phrase popularized by two people performing a fiction and making shit up in acting, in improv. Yes and. And that's what religious people do. I feel the power of Christ, running through me. Me drinking this Bud Light is Jesus. Yes, and Kid Rock, and I saw a baby smile the other day, and that was Jesus. Yes, and I saw a shooting star, and that's Jesus. Yes, and yes, you are lying. You're lying publicly. You're enabling each other, and even in the language you choose to use, it's stupid and indefensible. Why do you believe in any of this? My faith. Oh, so no reason? Your answer is, I have no reason to believe this. And you just said, I believe it anyway. Okay.
Is the ideal
self-refuting
human being? Yes, he does have the highest ethical teaching.
Oh,
yes, he is in a sense like a myth.
What? Okay.
And thank you, Joe. He is a historic person. This
based off the same book of hearsay upon hearsay, which would be thrown out of a courtroom and doesn't amount to anything. So a guy existed, and I'm such a quivering mess of a human that is on drugs every day of his life that I seek the authority and guidance of an ancient father figure. A mythical one in the sky, true, but also an ancient one. Jesus Christ, some virgin, a virginal carpenter from the Bronze Age of Israel days of ancient Palestine, Roman-occupied Palestine area. I seek his teachings because I'm a fucking clueless clown that does not think for myself, couldn't think for myself if I tried, and if enough of my fellow morons are on board with something, then guess what? I am on board with it too. God, you people suck.
Is that classic C.S. Lewis path that you go down where you go, wait a second. Is it possible that there is a true myth? Is it possible that the reason that myths all share these attributes in common is because they're actually human imagination developing and reflecting something that's actually literally true?
No, it's the exact opposite. It's actually literally false. There are commonalities in some myths. There's a wide array of things they disagree on, which you just skirted over ridiculously. Like there's competing worldviews about the creation of time and space and of Earth and of humanity. Okay, they don't agree at all. And there's been religious conflict since the dawn of time. Not sure if you're aware of that, but these people are so Christian-brained that they're like, we're all basically Jesus freaks. So like, are there other religions? No. And the idea that there are some commonalities among myths, yes. One of them is we anthropomorphize things in nature and we invent gods that, ta-da, wouldn't you know it, happen to be humans. You don't see that that's obviously us being egomaniacal freaks who are projecting our own existences into the celestial realm, which doesn't even exist. It's our just confused, dumb take on how things are, why things are the way they are. Okay, and if we can look at what the Vikings did and what the Norse gods and the Greek gods and all these other people, the freaking Aztecs, you name it, we can scientifically break down their absurd bullshit. But then you go, yeah, but my absurd bullshit is the real one. Like, what the fuck?
Are we the damsel in distress? Is he, the hero, come to save us?
You just categorize humanity as the damsel in distress? The hell are you talking about? So this is daddy issues. This is a guy, where was his dad? I mean, this is a man who's wearing a hat with a fish on it, with a full pedophile 70s mustache, wearing a plastic-looking map shirt? What do you even call that? He is living a lie of a marriage to some poor woman who he's probably BFFs with. He's fucking a guy named Gary on the weekends, and he's rationalizing in his brain. He has an obvious homosexual lisp that he carries around and just like exists with. And like, we're all sitting here, we're supposed to be like, wait, you don't? You're sitting there in that outfit and with that mustache trying to present a guy who doesn't suck dick? Dude, I know you do. So like, what is happening here? And of course he works it into his religious faith that why that's okay. Why is it okay that you can commit that sin over and over again? You're cheating on your wife. You're disobeying the word of God. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Etc., etc. Do we manifest these stories because they are our story?
No, God, dude, he's halfway there. Like, he goes, we're manifesting the stories, as in we're making up bullshit for self-serving reasons. And then his conclusion is, are we doing it because there's like a weird core truth that we're just like tapped into, like universal truth? And it's, oh, wouldn't that be convenient? Yeah, the thing I want to be true just happens to be true. I have had multiple people I'm aware of who are now smoking cigarettes. Smoking cigarettes, including Rowan. Rowan, the Eternal Life fan, is now smoking cigarettes. And he is coming out saying it's actually good for you. It's good for you to smoke cigarettes. He publicly is trying to put out the idea that there's no disadvantage to smoking cigarettes. It's not adverse to your health. It actually helps you. Now, the truth is, he likes smoking cigarettes, and he's coping with his anxiety and his mental fuckery. Okay, but he is lying to himself, and it's not that surprising because he's lied to himself about a million other times. And it's like, I want to feel good. Smoking makes me feel good. What makes me feel bad is when I read the warning on the cigarette pack, and it's like, I kind of know it's bad to smoke. Okay, here's a way around that. Tell yourself smoking is good for you. Okay, cool. Problem solved. Smoking's good for me. Now I smoke. The end.
Let's keep going.
If you go to Jerusalem, you can go to the Garden of the Gethsemane.
Oh my God, the Garden of the Gethsemane. It's actually a garden. There was a garden, and it's in Jerusalem. Jerusalem's a city. And the city existed 2,000 years ago. So clearly every claim. Devon said he flew in Melbourne. He said he launched up and he flew 100 feet into the air in Melbourne. Now let me tell you, you can go to Melbourne. You can go there. There's a bridge in Melbourne. There's like a park there. There's the Australian Open is played there. There's tennis courts. You can go to the tennis courts. Melbourne is a place. So look, you're questioning Devon's credibility. You don't think he flew, but he did say he was in Melbourne. That checked out. Melbourne exists. Am I right? Wow, great point, guys. Great point. And by the way, Charlie Kirk made this stupid fucking point. He's like, I went to the freaking Tower of Babylon, or no, I don't. He went to Israel, and he's like, these are things from the books I read as a child. I guess Jesus and all the miracles are true. I get to live forever.
And for those people who don't know, that's where Jesus was arrested by the Roman soldiers.
Oh my God, the Romans are real. Hey, why aren't we worshiping the Romans? They're all real dudes back then. What about the Roman gods? Didn't they have their own set of gods? I mean, they surely weren't Christians, considering that Jesus was not dead and risen. Wink, wink.
It still exists.
Yeah, and the Romans were real, and we have shields and helmets and like history. They were historically true. I mean, it was the Romans, man. Am I right? Let's go worship them. Hey, Roman centurion, will you be my daddy? I need a daddy.
You can go there 2,000 years later.
And look, just smoke coming across. Just the decaying force of toxins being put into these brains.
And you just literally walk around this place.
Wow. It's just amazing. You could just fly to Melbourne and just walk around. Just be in Melbourne. I mean, mic drop. Good night. I've proved my point.
Oh my God. Like the connection to
the connection from, I mean, shit. There are places you can go. I mean, guys, let me just drop this bombshell on you. Egypt, okay? I'm 0.6% Egyptian. I'm going to speak on behalf of that DNA. Egyptians had a belief system in a network, an entire array of gods, okay? A lot of gods, nothing to do with Jesus Christ. Predates all of that shit. So we have dibs on mythology. We got dibs on like coming up with answers to the riddle of the universe and why we exist. They anthropomorphized their gods too, and it was a soap opera that they created and followed, and none of it's real. They built statues, they built pyramids, they celebrated these gods. They had a whole orgy of dedication to this fictional belief system. You guys don't believe in any of it, okay? We can go to Cairo, we can go to all these various spots and see the structures, we can see the hieroglyphics, we can read the Rosetta Stone, we can dive into Egyptian culture. None of that adds any credence to any of the claims of the Egyptians. Okay? You seem totally safe with that knowledge. You seem completely confident that none of that is true. You don't lose any sleep over, oh my God, are the Egyptian gods real? But wait, we can go to Egypt. Oh my God, the pyramids exist. What does that do to the claims that they are making that are wildly false? I mean, obviously false. And yet, they're floating these ideas around as if it's a point. The guy's fawning over the existence of Jerusalem.
Those stories, it's right there.
I actually have a rock on this bookshelf that is from the archaeological site of the house of King David that is now undisputed, but that didn't come about until the 90s. So the point is, the more that we dig, the more that we understand, the more that it is clear that the stories of the Bible are things that actually took place.
There's distinction. So having a king, having a certain Roman person in charge, a certain city, a certain garden, those are mundane claims that no one is impressed by. It's all the other shit, dude. A man lived to be 800 years. A man died and then rose from the dead, and that means something magical. Those are the claims that why you guys are geeked up and have this weird delusion boner. Okay, you're not sitting there dedicating your life to the fact that a city existed 2,000 years ago. Okay,
at that location in history.
And if you don't have something to believe in,
here we go. So now this is the wink, wink, nudge, nudge of believe this shit because you need to. Because if you don't, there are adverse consequences. So it's a lie. I mean, it is. He's suggesting a paradigm in which, unless you're a moronic, religious, believing, deluded idiot, then you will be in chaos and doing drugs or like killing yourself or something. Like the outcome will be terrible, basically, which is a lie. But he's also suggesting, forget trying to rationalize this. Do it because not only is it going to benefit you, remember, they listed out all the sales points, but you need to. And if you don't, the alternative is terrible.
There's not a thing that you follow that you believe is making you be a better version of yourself.
What the fuck? What? A thing that you follow? First of all, if that's all it is, Joe, then you could say, I follow Denzel Washington. Why? He's a role model. Why? I think he's a good guy. Why? Because he creates a lot of stuff. He has a good family. He's nice to people. He makes people laugh. He enriches the life of people around him. Okay, so you're following him? Well, yeah, he's like a guide. He's like a role model for me. I admire him. I respect him. I look up to him. I try to emulate him. So you worship him? Is Denzel Washington the son of God? No, he's just a guy who I admire. Again, daddy issues. This dude has a fucking daddy complex. He's like, if you don't follow something, if you're not a follower, if you're not a serf and a peon and a sycophant and just an NPC, then shit, you got to figure out stuff on your own. And like, how am I supposed to figure out what to do? Here's how to do it, Joe. Don't be an asshole. Live by the golden rule. The golden rule, do to others as you'd have them do to you. The platinum rule, don't be a dick. Help some people if you can. Walk a dog. Stop and smell the roses. Do good things. It's not that hard. Okay, like, do we really have to debase ourselves and go through the humiliation ritual of believing in stupid fucking Bronze Age myths? Fucking hell, dude.
Be a better person. If you're just relying on your whims.
Your whims? No, ironically, that's what you people are doing. Your whim is, I just like feeling good, so I'll just believe and do whatever makes me feel good. That's the whim, Joe.
And your, whatever you think is the moral thing to do.
So in other words, he has just destroyed any personal integrity or agency or the personal responsibility of figuring out how you are supposed to live. So I can't do this for myself. I give up. I fall to my knees. Someone else tell me what to do. That's what he is advocating for right now. That is short man mentality. Okay, that's not a leader. It's absolutely not a leader. If me and Joe were like in the Dothraki, no, is that the word? Yes, in Game of Thrones. And it's like the leader has died. He died. He was injured in battle. We must choose a new leader. And I go, I shall lead. It is my time. This is my destiny. Follow me and I shall bring us glory to the tribe. And Joe goes, but what about, maybe I should lead? No, he wouldn't say that. Joe would say, oh, but I've been bulking out. I got all these muscles. I've been doing my little push-ups because I'm a little man. And it's like, well, okay, Devin, you lead. You seem to be thinking on your own. I can't come up with independent thought. I don't know what to do. I didn't have a dad. I don't know how to be. I need to read a fucking piece of animal hide stuffed in a jar that's 6,000 years old to tell me how to live. I don't know what the fuck to do. It's just up to me and my whims. Oh, well, clearly Devon should lead the Dothraki because he seems to have, his whims are to he's very confident. He seems to know what he's doing. I wish I had that certainty. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Now, this is a guy with hundreds of millions of dollars saying this. Like he's such a chump of a guy. It's crazy.
Then you know what you get? You get those people that are unable to answer the question of whether or not you should protect an unborn fetus, whether or not they
This is wild.
have human rights.
People that say you don't know if you should protect the rights of an unborn fetus. Say that again.
Answer the question of whether or not you should protect an unborn fetus, whether or not they have human rights.
Yes, that is a major issue, Joe, because an unborn fetus doesn't have rights. And why should they? And human rights, they're not humans. Okay, so this is the whole point of abortion and how we draw the moral line there and why we do it. And so, Joe, it's like when an egg is inseminated, right? And you have conception and there's a few molecules bound together. Does that have human rights? Or when a person is aware of a pregnancy, do they have any autonomy or agency in deciding if they want to reproduce? Or are we just animals? And like, well, if it happened, it happened. We have no say. We can't do anything. No, we are civilized and modernized to the point where we can decide if and when we want to reproduce. So the fucking human rights of an unborn fetus is ridiculous. But there's a line that we have drawn in the pregnancy that is quite reasonable. Really, it's very early in the pregnancy where you can determine if you want to go through with it or not. And then everyone agrees that if the baby has been determined that it is coming to maturation, there was a window of time to abort, they sailed through that. Well, now we're going to consider this potential human to be one that should have rights and should matter to us as a society. So this is not like people are going to haggle and argue on either side of that. But what the situation, the way it is now, the law as it is now, is a reasonable agreement between both sides. And it seems to make sense. Now, there are interesting side aspects to this where I remember this idiot, the Serfs, he went on Tim Pool and he's in favor of abortion. And he was like he said some radical shit where he's like, I think you should abort up to the day of like the birth, like 9 months. I see no problem with it. And he had some reasoning for that. But then Tim Pool brilliantly sidetracked the conversation and brought up another analogy where he said, do you think that it's okay for a pregnant woman to do drugs and like do heroin? And he says, no. And he goes, well, why? And he goes, well, because it's harming the baby. And he goes, well, but you just said that you were in favor of a 9-month pregnant abortion. Isn't that harming the baby? Isn't killing the baby harming the baby? And yet you're going to say we should arrest the woman and disallow her from taking drugs during a pregnancy on the baby's behalf, but you could kill the baby. So there is some blind spots in how people conceptualize this. But Joe's like, so no abortion, Joe, under any circumstance, incest, rape, even first term, you can't abort now, Joe. You just, all of a sudden, Joe is a fundamentalist Christian on the issue of abortion. And he's making it seem like it's obvious. They're humans.
No, they don't. And they just, that's what you get. That's what you get when you have no religion.
Yeah.
What? So Joe's like, if you have religion, you have perfect morality. Your morality is impeccable, not to be disputed or argued. Joe, it's interesting. Why is it that the Christians have argued to the death over their interpretation of what is moral, what is good? So they have splintered off into hundreds of different sects of that one religion, and they have killed each other over these disagreements. Not to mention every other world religion, which completely disagree and do so on many moral issues. And Christians have changed their stance on a gazillion moral issues over time. Care to navigate those issues, Joe, and why? Or is it all just very simple? Like once you have religion, you're just morally perfect. That's amazing, Joe.
Yeah.
If you have religion, you go, wow, that's a good question. That's a very good question.
If you are truly a truth seeker.
It's so fucking dumb. If you have an unborn fetus and you're bitching about the rights of that fetus, why not talk about the potential humans we could all make? You and I we could make a human today. Okay, just as easily as you waiting around for some unborn fetus to mature into being a human and being born, you and I could go out, and if you're a girl and I'm a guy and you're fertile, we can make a child today. Just as easy. So why don't we talk about the rights of the child that you and I could make today and would be born in 9 months? What about the rights of that child? No, that doesn't exist. What do you mean it doesn't exist? It very much exists. We could very much do that. It is within our power, and now we must grapple with the rights of the human that you and I could make today. No, but it's not physically there yet. Yeah, and neither is a cluster of cells. Okay, it has no consciousness, it's not fully developed, it is not a real thing. And if it's accidentally created, we have every right to say, no, you don't have the right to do anything. Okay, the right of the adult supersedes an accidental child was not even a child. So no, who grants this authority to you? And my point is, why don't we talk about the rights of all the potential children that you and I could have today, or anybody, or all of humanity? We could produce 1 million new kids today, and those kids would have souls and rights and lives, and we could do it. It could take 5 minutes, or with me, 10 seconds. 10 seconds, it's over. Okay, we could do this. And so what about those rights? I mean, that's just as ridiculous of a conversation to have.
You will realize that there is much more going on to this experience that we're all having here
Oh, this guy's gay. Holy shit, he's getting gayer.
on planet Earth than just matter and motion.
Matter in motion. There's magic and whimsy and... God. Yeah, it's all matter in motion. That is true. It is all matter in motion. All the words you're describing is words that matter. First of all, matter in motion is kind of spectacular. Okay, so it's highly advanced and highly complex and highly majestic. So don't try to diminish it by acknowledging that we are all made up of matter. There is... And motion, yes, that's good too. But yes, there's other things, there are phenomena that we have described using words that it is beyond matter. So jealousy is not made of matter. It is a word describing a phenomenon that people made of matter experience.
And I think Joe is on a very beautiful trajectory right now. His curiosity is paying off. He's
Curiosity killed the cat.
barking up the right tree. He's connecting dots. And
Yeah, Joe is really solving it. Get the overlay of all the math formulas, like Beautiful Mind. Joe's just really uncracking the code.
love to see it. I
Oh,
am here for every step of the way.
Also, as well, you know, when we look at the new atheist movement, and that's
that's my movement. What about us? Tell me.
something that I really followed, you know, Dawkins.
Oh, followed. Oh, you no longer follow it, eh? Oh, yeah, I guess you were a sheep after all. I guess you were a bitch. You fat, demented bitch. Okay, good shit.
all these kind of people
Right, Dawkins. Where did Dawkins go awry?
who pointed out the ridiculousness of certain religions, etc., etc.
And certain religions. Christianity, first and foremost, but yeah,
And then we don't need religion.
don't need it. First of all, Dawkins is the one that said he likes churches and church bells and the customs of it all. So it's weird that you would point to him. But again, a switch of is it true to do we need it? Okay, so the guy addicted to fentanyl, he seems to be going through withdrawal. It would appear that he needs fentanyl. Okay, well, I guess we should just keep giving him fentanyl. Or the heroin addict, give him methadone, or there's some other drug you have to give these people to like taper them off. Okay, you're addicted to, your weakness is such that you need a thing, therefore just forget the truth claims, and it's also tiring. Let's let daddy figure it out.
I think that's fundamentally inaccurate. I think human beings need religion.
That's retarded. So if you want to say human beings need something, then that's fine. And there are many other things than religion that human beings can hold on to and reframe their relationship with reality. So here's an example, and I'll keep it very basic, very basic. Forget religion. You have humanity. You are surrounded by 8 billion other human beings. We have culture, we have nature, and we have the universe. So you're telling me you need something beyond your fellow man, all of the animal kingdom. You have all of nature, and you're in this wondrous, ever-expansive universe, probably filled with a bunch of aliens. Tic Tac UFO series, watch it on Rumble. And that's not enough for your bitch motherfucking ass? You need a magical sky daddy? Excuse me? What? There's 8 billion forms of insects on this planet. Does that not comfort you? You know how many butterflies there are? Go study it. No, not good enough. Okay, so all of human culture and 8 billion human beings, when an atheist says there's no God and religion is bogus, you're saying, okay, so you're saying we need nothing? So we just get nothing? There's nothing else, dude. There's nothing else in the world but religion. Okay. We have customs, sports, community. We have academia. We have science. We have art. Like, these are vast, huge human inventions and investments of human energy that are wildly rewarding and fulfilling. And like all of that exists, and none of it is false. None of it is a lie. Okay, so look, these people trying to rationalize this goofy, mindless, moronic, childish set of beliefs because it makes me feel better.
I don't know if you need it, but it definitely can help.
But
So again, guys, we're just selling you a product. It could help you. So, but Joe, the guy who wrote the thing in the jar that we don't know who wrote it, should we disregard what he said? Or like, does it matter? No, don't worry. It helps you. If it helps me, then it's good. Okay. So it's all about me. Me. I want to be helped. I need something. I want to feel good. It's like a vortex. It's like a sinkhole. It's a toilet bowl being flushed, and all logic and reason is falling into the paradigm that he has set up, which is, if it helps you, it is good. I will believe in it. That's the weakness right there. And they're openly talking about it. And I find that to be amusing.
I think societies need it.
Yeah, but I don't.
Right. Some people don't because we're smarter than the average idiot out there.
So I just think it's silly to
It's silly to say, here comes another straw man.
dismiss
Yes.
all these stories.
I dismiss the stories, Joe, and I recognize that there's a million other stories from A, other religions, but also B, literature and fiction. And just like anime. Okay, there's Disney stories that we do not dismiss those either. So we can study the Bible as a piece of literature and fiction, and that's not what anybody's talking about. Do you see how he code switches between these 2 points? Atheists are saying that there's nothing to the stories. No, Joe, there's something to the story. There's something to Lord of the Rings, okay? That doesn't mean any of it's true, and it doesn't mean we're going to dedicate our lives to it. It doesn't mean Mordor exists or orcs, and it doesn't mean we get to live forever, and it doesn't mean some random Jew from 2,000 years ago died and was reborn, okay? That's what we're saying. How do you not understand the point of a fucking atheist?
As being useless.
Totally.
I just
Totally, yeah. Here's my point as a new atheist. All the stories of the Bible I can dismiss because they're all useless. Joe, here comes Joe. You know the thing is about atheists? They say that the Bible is dismissible and it's all useless, and I don't think that's true. Amazing, Joe. It's amazing.
I think they were trying to say something.
Yes, and it was dumb and false, what they were saying. And also morally atrocious. So it's not all these pearls of wisdom and like, hooray, there's like it's a guidebook to how to be a human being. No, it's not. They were anti-gay, anti-woman, owned slaves. We're scientifically illiterate and moronic. Okay? They were talking about paying a rapist money to marry the rape victim. Okay?
And I don't know what that something is, but the deeper you dive into it, the more interesting it gets.
Oh my God, just such a fucking mongoloid.
Yeah. Well, last time we had Richard on the show, if you remember, we kind of pushed him on this.
Yeah.
And his as far as we could get is he was like, well, maybe it's a story that's useful, but it's still not true.
Yes, exactly. Why do you think this is a point against him? So because something is useful, like again, a perfect example, black people who go to church. Okay, if they go to church and they're religious, chances of them going to jail, way less. Okay, chances of them having fathers, by the way, way higher. Chances of them doing well in school, yes. Okay, they are on a much better path than they would be, provided that, assuming that they got into a gang culture or criminal culture. Okay, so if you're a Christian guy, that could be useful in the black community. I'm not disputing that at all. Does that make any of the claims of Christianity true? No, not at all. I can make the same case for jujitsu. If you take Tyrone, and Tyrone is just like hanging out with friends and up to no good, versus Tyrone, who's dedicated to going to jujitsu class. And he meets a group of brothers in there, and he's dedicated, and he's learning, and he's challenging himself, and he's seeing growth, and it's benefiting him in many ways. So jujitsu class is good for Tyrone. Now, why do you think you snickering idiots have a point that's saying doing something that isn't destructive or doing something that you can benefit from is good for you? Okay? So yes, there are positive aspects to being a part of a community, period. So a religious community, a pottery making community, a book club, literally anything. Again, what, and Richard is right to point out that we atheists are talking about the truth claims of religion, not the fact that there's a random benefit to something. Me chewing on a rock, if I pick up a rock and chew it, there are positive benefits to that. It is creating, I'm chipping away the plaque in my mouth. I'm generating saliva, and that can be beneficial in some weird way. That doesn't mean it's good for you. It doesn't mean there's not downsides to this. There's an opportunity cost. It also is a slap in the face to the integrity of you as a human being. So it's a completely dishonorable way to live. And again, speaking intellectually and scientifically, all of the claims are totally false. So that's ghastly and retarded. And also there's morally completely deranged things coming out of religion. So all of that is what we are saying. No one is saying there's nothing good about being part of a group.
And I'm going, well, if it's useful, maybe we should hang on to it for a little bit.
Right, so he's openly saying, I don't care if it's not true. I don't care if it's all bullshit. Let's just do something that's completely bullshit. And people with integrity and strength say, no, I will not.
You know, do we want to throw away...
And also, not only no, I will not, but I will find useful things elsewhere. Okay, you fucking moron. It's like this dichotomy of it's either religion or nothing. It's religion or chaos, religion or anarchy, religion or death and destruction, and that is not the binary. Okay, you could do just as many positive things, be a part of positive communities, and enhance your life in a million different ways, and you do not need religion. You do not need mythical horseshit to be a part of. You don't have to join a cult in order to better your life.
Something that's useful because we're so fixated on literal truth.
When we're fixated on it? No, it's kind of important when the entire premise of the organization is based on multiple lies, and it's answering a question that is rather profound, which is, why are we here? What are we? What is life? What is the point of it? What is death? These are huge issues. So we're not fixated on it. It's just an open, bold-faced lie. Okay? And we're acknowledging that it's a lie. And also we can have a community elsewhere doing something that isn't based on an egregious lie.
Perhaps a metaphor.
Oh, it's a metaphor. Okay, let's join the Metaphor Club. Okay, so every Sunday I'm going to meet up with the Lord of the Rings freaks or the Star Trek convention, and we're going to pull up quotes from Star Trek episode whatever and be like, oh, I learned something from Spock today. And isn't it useful that I'm a fucking Trekkie geek? And don't be so fixated on the fact that Star Trek is a fictional thing. You're a fucking Trekkie loser. These people are losers. God damn it, the weakness on display is unfathomable.
For something, right?
Perhaps. Yeah.
You know.
And even there, Joe's like, perhaps. And I think Joe's like, yeah, that's a problem. It's not just a cool story. It's not just, you can't just call it a fairy tale. You can't just call it a myth when it actually took place in history.
What? The myth part of it is the supernatural claims. It's not the fact that Jerusalem exists.
That is the dynamic tension here that is moving Joe forward, I believe. Let's keep going.
No. So yeah, I've kind of moved on that. I used to love all that new atheist stuff. But...
Me too.
What do you mean I used to love it? What has changed? I love there's no point here. What has changed about new atheism or any atheism that you are now, like, I think differently now?
But a lot of those guys fell apart. And a lot of those guys get real persnickety. They don't seem very enlightened. They don't seem like they're at peace, which is interesting.
That's projection. Joe is the one not at peace. Joe's the one searching and flailing around for answers and looking for daddy figures to help explain shit to him. because he's just scared and lost and confused. He's a fucking drug addict. But, I'll just say, yeah, the new atheists fell apart. Huh? Who? How? Such bullshit.
Because
It's actually them falling apart and caving in to the freaking insanity of religion, like the bitches that they always were.
that's the true Christians that I've met, and I've met some like legitimate,
like Kid Rock,
very charitable, kind Christians.
Mm-hmm.
They're some of the happiest and kindest people I've ever met.
And that's borne out in the.
Oh, so kindness. So there are no non-Christians who are kind.
Statistics as well.
Yeah.
These three gentlemen
What?
on the Joe Rogan podcast,
What? Christian people are the kindest? What are we talking about?
following the path of the conversation that they did, recognizing that there isn't just an abstract, metaphorical, top value at the top of the hierarchy of values type of truth that Jesus is. He's also historic, actual, and literally true. And those two types of truth merge on Jesus in Nazareth in history, and they cause all of us to have to face the question of, was he really who he said that he was? Is it actually possible that the creator of the universe entered in to the story, like Shakespeare writing himself into Hamlet, in order to buy back man for himself, in order to make a way that we can be reunited with ultimate reality himself? Is the Christian story actually true? If it is, it's extremely good news. If it is true, it is the best possible news for every single person, because we are all a part of the problem of evil. And there is no other known solution to the problem of evil other than this gift that Jesus has given us of his innocence. Jesus as both being just and the justifier of all of us. If God were to totally eradicate evil at midnight tonight, none of us are left at 1 a.m. But God's solution to the problem of evil is Jesus. I will suffer the consequences of evil myself.
Dude, it's so wild. Like, listening to a guy fart out that word salad idiocy is so exhausting. None of that made any sense whatsoever at all. Like, it was layers of nonsense. Okay, that was completely worthless expenditure of energy from that homosexual. Just incalculably dumb, what we just heard. Let me just try to paraphrase. The problem of evil, and we all embody the problem of evil, and we can only be saved through Jesus, who was this innocent person who died, and now we are under that magical spell, and we get to continue to exist. And maybe God wrote the Bible, and he's somehow in the Bible, just like Shakespeare sort of cast himself in his works somehow. And it's like Quentin Tarantino putting himself in his own movie. And wouldn't that be great news if it was all true? And I'm still not really sure if it is true. Just like, my wife isn't sure if I'm really straight. And I'm kind of phoning in our missionary sex. And it's, I'm thinking of Gary the whole time. Just like, dude, I just need to go out and touch anything. Touch grass, touch ass, touch... like, you guys... It's so embarrassing. And I know that somebody listening to this is religious, and I'm just, with all due respect to you, to your forebears who were equally embarrassing, to all of ancient man who are just clueless, just floundering idiots. You're totally wrong. Okay? Like, you're humiliatingly, pathetically, putridly weak, and you're an embarrassment to our species. Now, I say that to you because I respect you. I don't even know you, but I'm respecting you enough to tell you that you're totally wrong and there is no God. And when you die, you're dead. Now, please, for the love of God, try to grapple with that at some point in your pathetic, weak life. Wake up and go, today I'm going to grow up. Today I will embrace reality. For once in my life, I'm not going to do as I'm told. I'm not going to, just because other people are saying something. No, I'm going to personally think through this. I'm going to have a real deep thought on this, And I'm going to come to the conclusion that Devin was right, again, and that I have no good reason to believe what I believe in. Okay, go look up the new atheists. Go look up Dawkins and Hitchens and Harris and hear those debates. And you could rediscover this for yourself. None of those people fell apart. They were as right today as they were back then. Why on earth would you think otherwise? The only reason we have stopped banging the drum on this issue is because it's so painfully beneath us and it's a waste of our time. Okay? Your stupidity is a waste of my time. So I only will revisit this on occasion. Try to do better. Do not be like the meathead, drug-addicted Joe Rogan and his ridiculously low IQ mind. Be better than that. Rise to the occasion. And if you don't, then so be it. Just be a fucking idiot. Who cares? I'm going to move on right now.